Welcome to Real Recovery Unplugged, the podcast where healing meets hustle, faith fuels purpose, and real stories spark transformation. I'm your host, Dr. Haley Brown, founder and CEO of Real Recovery. I'm an osteopractor, entrepreneur, believer, and someone who's passionate about rewriting the script on healthcare one life at a time. Each week, we'll pull back the curtain and have raw, unfiltered conversations with our staff, doctors, fellow healthcare providers, athletes, patients, and inspiring voices from all walks of life. We'll also get a behind-the-scenes look at what it really means to build a movement, not just a business. So whether you're a provider, a patient, or someone chasing a purpose bigger than yourself, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Welcome to Real Recovery Unplugged, and I'm your host, Dr. Haley. So I have been struggling with recording the very first episode of this podcast. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I've been wondering, what the heck am I going to talk about? What's the best topic? What's the best way to launch this and let people know what it really is all about? And I think I've been struggling with it so much because I don't even know yet. I just want this to be a platform where people can come and seek answers, seek encouragement, hear stories shared by others, and just be inspired. So I think no matter what, whether this reaches just one person that is struggling to find answers to their pain or problems, if this reaches one person who is struggling to find answers for a family member, or just to gather more information that's not overwhelming medical jargon, if it only reaches the person that is currently a business owner and going through it, and they just need to know that they're not the only ones that are going through the trenches of being overwhelmed with tasks and things to do. If it only reaches that one person who is struggling in their spiritual life and gets to kind of see where my Christian life has led me and where God continues to give me love and encouragement and all those things. If it only reaches the person that is currently a physical therapist or a doctor of any kind and is burnout and is trying to reignite their passion for the career, if it only reaches the person that is currently working for another clinic that is experiencing burnout, that is not having a good quality of life and is aspiring to create their own business, and you want to hear all of the raw, hard, honest truths of it and all of the wins and all of the highs and lows that come with it, this is a spot for you. And if it only reaches that one physical therapy student that is in the thick of it in PT school and wondering if this was even worth it at all at the end, this is for you. So I decided that kind of for this episode, I'm going to talk about the birth of Real Recovery. Real Recovery, I founded it and it began operating and seeing patients in December of 2022. I was dreaming and planning Real Recovery while I was in physical therapy school, which I started in 2017. So to give you a little bit of back history about myself, I am a doctor of physical therapy. I am a osteopractor. I also got my fellowship title in orthopedic manual physical therapy. I am a business owner. I am a adjunct professor at Florida A&M University's Doctor of Physical Therapy program. I'm currently over all of the orthopedics courses. I am a Christian, and I owe everything that I have to God and His mercy. I am a fiance, about to be married in 3 weeks, which is crazy, and life has just been so insane, but I'm so blessed in that way. I'm a daughter to 2 parents. I'm a sister to 1 brother. I am a friend to many, and I am a mentor to some different physical therapy students and to some other young adolescents that are in my church. And I am currently on the board for Young Life Tallahassee, so helping inspire and getting other adolescents connected and plugged into local churches and to just share the journey about, how God loves us and we owe everything to Him. And through Him, anything and everything is truly possible. That doesn't mean that doesn't come with some ups and downs with it, but that's what life is about. So, with the birth of Real Recovery, I was in physical therapy school listening to podcasts actually, and I was just, inspired to create my own business that allowed me to not be controlled is the best word for it by insurance companies. And so whenever I was in PT school and I was going on my first clinical rotations, I was so excited because I was like, I'm finally going to get to experience like treating patients. I've spent so many years just nose in the books, learning all this stuff. I'm now going to actually be able to help start making a difference. And what I found was a little discouraging. Not even going to be honest. I was on my first physical therapy rotation, and I was at a local orthopedic clinic that is a insurance driven model. And all of the physical therapists there, honestly, like they were great. It wasn't a lack of competence or anything like that. It was the parameters that the insurance companies and that clinic put on the therapists that led to a subpar experience, I would say. So basically, all of these physical therapists that have worked hard to get their degree and to help other people, they were having to use what I call the cookie cutter method. So more or less, a patient would come in, and no matter what they were in here for, they were going to spend 8 minutes on the bike, and they were going to have a tech that did that. And then they were going to rotate through and then get certain time of manual therapy, which is the minimum time required. They would then get passed off to a tech to do exercises. And these techs were great too. And it wasn't a knock or anything like that. But these therapists were having to see 4 or 5 patients at a time. And it's a little unethical in some of the billing practices and everything, but that is the parameters that were put on them. And this isn't just happening around here locally. This is happening everywhere, all across the country. And so while I was there working, here I was thinking that I was about to spend this one-on-one time with this patient, really helping them through exercises, but getting to know them and build that relationship with them. And what I found is I had to spend as little as time as possible with each patient, push them off to the tech, just write out all the exercises I wanted them to do. And then the tech's the one that's really actually working with the patient, while I then go into another room and do an initial evaluation, which again is a time crunch. So I'm not even able to sit down and get a thorough subjective history and life history from this patient. It is just a simple, you have a referral for knee pain, only tell me about your knee pain. And that's not a healthy model. That's not a holistic model. So I immediately knew that I was going to have to create my own business to be able to treat people the way that I want to make the most out of all of this time and money that I've spent on my education. So I was in school and I was planning and doing all these things. And then my last year of PT school, my last semester of PT school, I was out in the clinics wrapping up my last rotations, and then COVID hit. And that shut down everything. It got me clicked off, canceled off of my clinical. They sent us home, and we didn't know if we were going to graduate. We didn't know what was about to happen. And so, like with the rest of the world, everyone was just kind of put in their place, right? That you were home and everything stopped. And I had a lot of time then to do a lot of thinking, right? Okay, this changes things, but how am I going to use this time to my advantage? Fast forward, we were able to graduate. We were able to take boards on time. Thankfully, was able to pass boards. And then I immediately started working at a chiropractic clinic here in town. Shout out to Zach Verrier. He's still a great friend of mine, and we collaborate on patients all of the time. But they did not have any physical therapy inside of the office. And so I was able to come in and kind of create my own platform within that company and start working on patients. In the meantime, I then decided to start my own side hustle, right? I was like, okay, I have to start learning how to do this cash-based physical therapy thing in order for me to start my own business. So major shout out to Pam Chichester and Ezekiel Davis, the owners of Body Tech down in Crawfordville, Florida. That was my home gym, and Pam and Zeke were so gracious. They allowed me to, for free, just take over their classroom where they held classes in the off hours on a Friday a week. And so I was able to, go in there, set up, and do everything. So I'll never forget my first time going there that day to treat patients. And all I had was a $100 Amazon table, portable treatment table. I had a backpack with a Theragun and the attitude that I was about to change lives. And that's all I had. I had no idea what I was doing at all. And it was hilarious. And so I went in there and just started talking to people in the gym, right? Hey, like, how's it going? What's going on? Do you have any aches and pains? Like, for free, do you just want to hop on my table and let me show you a few things? And as I started working and doing that, it was so much fun, honestly. And I got to know so many people. And then the next thing I knew, I was getting booked, and I was getting booked like crazy. And so I was working 40 hours a week, Monday through Thursday at my day job. And then I was treating on Fridays, but all of a sudden I remember one day I was treating from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. on a Friday, one patient an hour. And it was just back to back to back to back to back with zero breaks. And that definitely got insane very quick. And then I started seeing some evening clients. I was driving out to Monticello. So it's a town that's, I don't know, like 45 minutes away from wherever I lived. I was doing that in the evening time. I was working weekends. I was just hustling and grinding. And I was learning a lot and making a ton of mistakes, but that's how we learn. So I was going about things in the right and wrong way, I would say. But I knew that there had to be a better way of doing things. And I'll just never forget, I was getting so overwhelmed with work. And then I had a lot of personal things going on at the time. And God just decided he needed to put me in a season of rest. And so little did I know, I was going about life and everything was good. And then everything was not good. I went through a major life event of going through a breakup from a long-term relationship. And so that definitely kind of set me back in some ways. And then I had two loving grandfathers that were both sick with Alzheimer's disease and with Parkinson's and Lewy body dementia. And I was blessed enough to be able to help both my grandparents care for them. And at the time, I was just being discouraged. I was like, I kind of tried to do my own thing and I had no idea what I was doing. And is this really what, God wants me to do? Is this really right to create my own business and pursue it? After going kind of through what I call my quarter life crisis, and I told myself that, I was going to give myself until the end of that fall. So that was 2022, that I was going to give myself until that December. And if I, at that time, hadn't created secured a location, created a business plan, and had something implemented and going in place, then I was just going to start travel physical therapy. I was going to go travel across the country and just try to find myself. So that was the deal. And then all of a sudden I started talking to a good friend, shout out to Drew Whitehead. And he was the manager of Momentum Fitness at the time, which is a gym here in Tallahassee. And I was talking with Drew and he said that he would find some space for me. And so we set everything up and then Real Recovery is born. So it's been such an awesome journey. And, I was in more or less a closet that was built out from the attic inside of this gym, but I did not care. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I had 2 treatment tables, not just one, and I was just ready to hustle. So around the same time of not knowing if this space was going to work out in Momentum or not, I decided that I wanted to learn more. I wanted to be the best doctor I could be, and I wanted to be somebody that really understood the body much better and could accurately diagnose. And so I decided to apply for a fellowship program, again, not knowing if I would get in, not knowing how any of these timelines would work out. And so I'll actually never forget that the same week that I found out that my Momentum spot was going to be secured, so I had a location for Real Recovery, I also 2 days later received a email saying that I was accepted into the fellowship program. And I just remember going to my parents and telling them, I have no idea how I'm about to do any of this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it. And the next year and a half with that fellowship and with growing Real Recovery was absolute insanity. But it was the funnest, hardest working time of my life by far. So I was traveling all over the country. I was treating patients. I was hopping on a plane every Thursday night and traveling out to Texas a lot, but just all over the country, meeting with other awesome doctors from across the country, learning from the best of the best in the research fields. And then I would catch the red eye home. And so I'd get home at, a little after midnight on Sunday. I would have my first patients back at 7 a.m. Monday, and I would work 12, 14-hour days the rest of the week. And then again on Thursday, I would stop treating a patient at 4:30, drive to the airport, and I would be on a 5:30 flight out of there. So I was cutting it close a lot of times. And I did that for an entire year. But with that, I met so many people and I was able to help so many patients. And then I was growing and I was able to meet other awesome doctors. I was able to start growing the team, and the dream and vision was really just starting to come to life. And being a 100% self-pay clinic at the time, the patients that were coming in, it was so refreshing because they were patients that really wanted answers and they didn't mind paying their hard-earned cash money to get my expertise and to get direct one-on-one patient care. And word of mouth has been absolutely amazing. And then I started having patients that were traveling from, 2-3+ hours away who would just drive there for the day for treatment so we could work together and they could get this unique type of care. So fast forward now to 2025, I have 2 locations. We are getting ready to launch a brand new location in Tallahassee, and I cannot wait. I am so excited for the partnership of sister companies that's about to happen. I am so excited for the new space and location, and I have a phenomenal team. So the Tallahassee location is going to be amazing. And then I have a standalone location in Crawfordville, and that was so cool. I've had that location it's been May, so a year and a few months now. And that was the first time like the entire vision of Real Recovery really came together. So if you guys are around the local area and you ever come check out that clinic, you can walk in and you can see everything that was my vision. And it's been really, really cool. So I now have a team of 3 other doctors of physical therapy. I have a awesome sports massage therapist and some awesome support staff as well. So we are just continuing to grow and work on patient care. And we are now doing a hybrid approach where we're actually accepting and honoring some insurance programs. And this way people are able to utilize some of their insurance that they do pay their hard-earned money for, but we're able to now reach and help more people without sacrificing the quality of care that we have. So now here we are, I guess, doing a podcast. We'll see. I just think that I have so many conversations with patients and I have so many of the same conversations with so many people that what is common knowledge to me, I'm realizing now is not common knowledge to everyone else. So the whole point of this podcast, this vlogging, these video series, whatever we want to call it, is to get the information directly to you. So by all means, throughout this entire time that we're doing this, please, if there's something that you want covered, a certain topic, a certain personal experience or a professional experience, please just send it in and we'll absolutely talk about it. This is made for you. It's definitely not for me. This is me pushing out of my comfort zone for sure and embracing the challenge of giving the people what they want, I guess. So we'll see. But yeah, so past that, I am super, super excited for the journey that this is going to take us down. Real Recovery Unplugged is all going to be about just real talk, honest talk, truth telling, and answering any questions that you all may or may not have. And I am sure you will get a little bit of entertainment along the way because let's be honest, my life is just crazy, but it's great. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm so blessed and so thankful. So I look forward to hearing from you all for your input and stay tuned for the next episode.